Hey everyone, Colin from Gaming Through the Ages here. This past Friday, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl were released, and those who watch my channel know that I'm a pretty big Pokemon fan, so of course, I had to pick it up day one and go through it so I can give my thoughts to you guys. Now, are these games worthy remakes of some DS classics, or do they kind of fail to deliver on their promise? Let's get into it.
Alright, I'm going to divide this review into two halves. In the first half, I'm going to look at this game as the game it actually is. In the second half, I'm going to talk about this game as a longtime Pokemon fan. So first off, we gotta ask, is this game a good game? And I think the answer, it has to be yes. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are very faithful remakes of the original Diamond and Pearl on the DS. And those games are still good today. Therefore, this game has to be a good game. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl brings the Sinnoh region to a new audience. So for those who had never played the DS originals, this will be their first time exploring Sinnoh.
This is the simplest description of these games that I can give. It's Pokemon Diamond and Pearl from the DS, except it's on the Switch. It is a bare bones, just remake of the game. And that makes it hard to describe, you know? I mean, it's a Pokemon game. We all know what the Pokemon formula is. The Pokemon formula is great, and it's present here.
And I gotta say, the Pokemon formula is what makes the entirety of this game actually enjoyable. It's satisfying to catch Pokemon, raise them up, see them grow and evolve, and then finally take down the big bad guy team before heading off to the Elite Four. The core battle mechanics feel good, balancing different types and moves so that your team can overcome any type of situation. It feels good to explore the overworld and find items that might make your Pokemon more powerful or even allow for evolution. It feels good to go from town to town, meeting the locals and earning gym badges.
I am definitely copying and pasting that sentence for every single Pokemon game I review from now on.
But beyond all that, there are a few notable features that bear mentioning. The most obvious is the automatic experience all. If you can turn this off, I never found the option, so as far as I know, it's here whether you like it or not. Every Pokemon will gain experience from every fight, unless they fainted. On the positive side, this effectively eliminates the need for grinding. Pokemon will level up naturally with you as you play, so if you add a new member to your team, they'll level up too. It also means that you're seeing the level up screen a lot more frequently than you might be used to if you haven't played the last few entries, and the constant reward of level ups feels good because you have tangible evidence that you are getting stronger. On the flip side, if a game is going to include a feature like this, I strongly feel like they need to change the levels of the NPCs to compensate. For the vast majority of the game, I was almost 10 levels above my opponents, which made the game an absolute breeze. There are difficulty spikes present in the original games that are completely smoothed out in this version because of the forced experience all. Some might find this to be a good thing, right? It's a smoother experience after all. But I do maintain that a sense of challenge makes games memorable, and most of the well-known moments of Pokemon, like facing Whitney's Miltank or fighting your rival in the first two generations, stem from the difficulty of the challenge that is presented to the player, and then the feeling of accomplishment we get when we overcome them. The other most notable change this game made is the absence of usable HMs, relegating them to a Poketch app. Given that Diamond and Pearl had an absolute buttload of HMs, this is a great change because it allows me to focus on what moves my Pokemon have, rather than what I need to explore the world. It does make me start thinking about why we need HMs in the first place. What's the point of putting up a tree to cut if you can just cut no matter what? And the only good answer I could think of was that they serve as a way to time gate the player, to guide the player along the proper route. Pokemon games have been doing this from Pokemon Red onwards, forcing you to do the SS and before getting into Lieutenant Surge's gym, for instance. There are some places where this is just unnecessary, however. Defog should never have been a move, and by removing the need to teach a Pokemon the move, its status as an obstacle on the overworld has become a complete joke. You just pick the move from the Poketech, and bam, you move on as normal. Now that we've all agreed that it's better for HM moves to not take up Pokemon move slots, I hope that Pokemon can evolve to using HMs in more clever and evolved ways, in order to justify their existence. The expansion of the underground into the Great Underground makes the area way more useful. Normally, I just ignored the place, as it was just a way to get fossils and stones. Now though, you can go down there and grab Pokemon way earlier than you normally would, including Pokemon you'd normally never be able to get to in Sinnoh. I managed to grab a Rhyhorn pretty early on, and that was great because Rhyhorn is a Pokemon that I've always liked the design of, but very rarely ever used, because by the time I'd get to a place where they lived, my team was pretty much set. This feature lets the player experiment with more quote-unquote advanced Pokemon much earlier on, so I think that's pretty great. That's an objectively good addition. What doesn't strike me as pretty great is the implementation of the Poketech. In the DS games, the Poketech lived on the bottom screen, and you controlled it with the touchscreen. Now, you have to summon it with R, hit R again to actually make it operable, and then you use the control stick and the A button to mimic touch controls. For some of these apps, it's not a big deal, but for the item finder, this is a huge pain in the ass because you have to stop what you're doing, fill the entire screen with the Poketech, track the item, and then hope that you remember the positioning when you go to find it. I thought that this would be easier if I used portable mode, since you can have the Poketech visible on the right-hand corner of the screen. I thought that since the Switch screen is touch-sensitive, and you can control the Poketech with touch controls when it's fully up, that I'd just be able to tap the small version and find the item. But no. No, I could not. In order to use the item finder, the Poketech has to be fully activated on the screen. This is clumsy. Clearly, they just tried to emulate the Poketech on the DS and left it at that, rather than asking what would be better for the player now that we're playing on one screen. And speaking of clumsy, we have to return to technical machines for a moment. In recent games, TMs are now infinitely usable. You can just have the TM and teach the same move to whatever Pokemon that you want. It is a fantastic feature in terms of team customization. In this game, they clearly recognize that, so they give you multiple copies of TMs, but they still break after one use. It seems like a half measure that gives legitimacy to the complaint that we don't want TMs to go away, but forces the TMs to go away anyway. It's a very bizarre design choice, I have to say.
So is this game a good game? I mean, insofar as it's a Pokemon game, yeah, Pokemon is fun. I enjoyed my time with it, I guess. But there's not a whole lot of extra stuff here. It's Diamond and Pearl, remade. There's a few extra features, some of which I've talked about, and some of which I haven't, for reasons I'm going to get into in a minute. If you've never played the Sinnoh games, and you want to see what Sinnoh is like, this is a competent way of seeing those games. And it's much cheaper than Diamond and Pearl is on the DS now. But as to those features that I didn't talk about.
Let your Pokemon follow you wherever you go. Collect new outfits so that you can look better. Put stickers on your Pokeball so that a different design comes out when you throw the ball. All of these are advertised features for this game. They're selling points for the game. And I'm here, having played every mainline Pokemon game except for Black and White 2, thinking, who the hell cares? Now, I know that a lot of people like the whole Pokemon follow you around like they do in the anime feature, but to me, it just doesn't matter. And yeah, I'll change my clothes if given the option, but if it weren't in the game, I wouldn't care about it at all. The point of Pokemon is exploration and battling and a good sense of progression. Stickers! Why does every NPC in the game give you new stickers to put on your Pokeballs. Who the hell cares about what design pops out of your balls? I did a video a while back on what could make Pokemon better as a series, and let me tell you, stickers on my Pokeballs was not in that video. In that video, I called for better storytelling. While I would like a more involved story in Sinnoh, I understand that this wasn't going to be that. This game was marketed as a fairly by-the-books remake. I will say that I was surprised by the complete dearth of new story content or new core mechanics, given that all of the previous remakes brought the old generations and redid them in the new engines entirely. Look at Fire Red and Leaf Green, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, or even Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. They were completely brought into the engine of that generation's mainline title, except maybe the Let's Go example. Whereas with these games, we seem to be artificially stuck in the past. I'm not even going to mention how this game doesn't have Platinum's additional content, because these games are literally remakes of Diamond and Pearl, and not Platinum. And my god, I'm sorry, the difficulty level of this game is it's way too low. I absolutely breezed through this game, beating it at just over 21 hours, and at least 2 of those hours were probably just wasted idling time, grabbing a sandwich, going to the bathroom, what have you. This is because, as I've noted, the game does not compensate for the increase in EXP gain that you get. As a fan, this is frustrating. Almost every fight, with the Elite Four as the sole exceptions, it feels like I'm just going through the paces. No fight made me think or strategize or think about it for more than a second, because I outleveled most of the content by a significant margin. The deck is always stacked in the favor of the player, to the point where if your Pokemon like you, they'll start doing things like getting rid of status effects or having the sturdy ability without having the sturdy ability. Everything in this game is designed to make the player feel like they're the one with the advantage instead of actually being challenged. But instead of focusing on giving the seasoned player more of a challenge to get through the main story, as I think they should have done, they gave us stickers on our Pokeball, so, everything's good there. I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm getting burnt out on mainline Pokemon. It's clear that they are developing these games in such a way as to not appeal to players like me. But also, there's a wide-ranging Pokemon ROM hacking scene with completely new games or balance patches that make the games more challenging. I'm starting to think that the next time I have the need for a Pokemon fix, I'm going to try to play one of those instead. Here's hoping that Pokemon Legends Arceus is good.
Well, guys, that's my review of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I gotta be honest, I'm disappointed with it. I'm disappointed with Pokemon as a whole lately. And playing through this game, I played through it quickly, but when I beat it, I didn't feel a sense of like, yes, I finished this great game. It was more, yes, I finished it so I could write my review. But what do you guys think? Do you have a more positive take on it, or are you in my camp where you are a little bit disappointed by it? Let me know in a comment down below. And if you like what you saw here, please go ahead and give me a subscribe and a like. We'd love to have you. But I'll see you next week for more content from gaming through the ages. Have a great day, everyone.